and want to first off welcome you. Really a great turnout and a great response, and look forward to providing some information to you tonight and with you. We'll start off with some basic information around the history, then we'll talk about what the Sport Council can do for you, and at the end we have an opportunity for some questions and answers. But again, really want to thank you for coming out, thank you for participating, and hopefully the information is of value to you this evening. Perhaps my first, or should be, I'll introduce the council members. First off, Brian Varga is a member of the community on our Sport and Event Council. Mike Ratcliffe is from the Alberta Parks out in the Cypress Hills area. Jace, I think most of you know from the DMO, and is our part of the organization as well and supports us through the DMO and the tourism medicine. Kelly, you already know. And Kara Brake is, of course, our coordinator and knows everything and gets her name in the paper these days and on the news and things like that, too. So Kara's just been a great asset to the team, to say the least. We're missing tonight Pat Brisnet. She should be along pretty soon, but Pat was delayed a little bit. Did I miss anybody? Nope. Got it. Good. So, to start off, perhaps a number of you are new. For some of you, it'll be a bit of a refresher. How did the Sport and Event Council start? And what was its original intent and mandate? So first off, the Sport and Event Council isn't a new concept. In fact, Ken and I often reminisce about the years past when Ken was on council, and I started with the city where we sort of looked at the idea, but due to other priorities and other things happening, never got to the point of being able to introduce it. So in 2016, with the Winter Games legacy, the Winter Games Society, the Games Society, was able to commit $50,000 to the startup of the Sport and Event Council, and committed to assist in its development. At the same time, and I should recognize that the city certainly was very supportive of the idea, and in fact, had done some work just previous to that in looking at that development themselves. So certainly there's some history to it. So with the Games Society initiative, one of the first things we looked at is how should we develop it. So we called some key stakeholders together on 2 occasions and talked to them, is this something you can support? Is this the kind of mandate that would do well in the community? Is this important to you? And we received unanimous support. With that, the group identified 3 or 4 things that they felt were critical to moving forward. One, and we certainly identified from a Games Society as well, support to initiate bids in a competitive market. What we were finding is that when we went out there, a lot of communities were ahead of us. They were moving forward with bids, they had staff working on competitive bid processes, and they were one step ahead. Secondly, the group certainly identified the importance of working together and working as a team, coordinating events, gaining value from having events and working together in terms of them. So another initiative. Another was making sure the information was getting out on what events were happening. So a communication strategy of some sort. Another was to work with organizations in supporting the bids. And what we found during our period of time, and people will talk about it a bit more, but some groups certainly are very new, or the organization's very small, or they haven't been involved in putting on a major event. So they look for the information necessary to put the best possible proposal forward and to have the greatest success in getting and hosting the event. So from the group of stakeholders, with a mandate to move forward, it was also identified, don't try to create a new society. Find a society that has similar ideals, similar directions, and move forward in conjunction, if at all possible, with them. We found that success with tourism medicine had in the DMO. They supported us. They certainly had looked at the ideas of tourism and sport tourism specifically, and through their board, then initiated the appointment of the Sport and Event Council as a standing committee of the DMO, the Destination Marketing Organization. So that was the starting of the Sport and Event Council as we know it today. So I think that gives you the history in terms of the creation of the Sport and Event Council. At this point in time, we have 2 working committees that were also developed as part of the structure. Alicia Hammond represents as chair of the Promotions and Marketing Committee, and Tammy Sweeney represents the Bid and Event Committee. So with their representation and working committees that work with them, they've certainly taken on the task of assisting in developing those particular areas. So perhaps just to touch upon some of the key values that we believe are critical to the Sport and Event Council. And I think you'll find those consistent in your organizations, I think, as well. Number 1 is community and organizational leadership. We believe the community has a strong base. That base certainly at times could use support, and we want to ensure that the tools are necessary or out there that allow organizations to look at other kinds of events and enhance their organization as it currently exists as well. Secondly, is volunteers and hospitality. One of the things that I know with the games, Ken and I often hear is around the strength of our community and our volunteers and the hospitality they provide. It's one of the comments that we get continuously with events in Medicine Hat, and we want to continue to enhance and support that. Next, I've mentioned coordination and communication. We believe it's critical that groups work together. We're small enough that a lot of the same people are involved in the various organizations, and it may be beneficial to both groups to look at common weekends or kind of activities and events that have some synergies. So we want to ensure and support communication between groups. Event marketing. It's one of the critical aspects that we're finding in putting forward bids is you need to get out there, you need to have a very strong promotional and marketing component, you need to be known, you need to get out there and meet with national organizations, provincial organizations, government organizations, and get known and get to be part of their process. We also want to look at attracting more major initiatives. We've been involved in the games and other events. You certainly have brought many events to the community. We want to work with you in bringing more of those kind of events. They're great from the economic standpoint, and Kelly's going to talk a bit more about the benefits of them, but they're good for the community. So, what is key? Our vision is to be the champion for sport and events in Medicine Hat. We see the importance of working with you in that regard, not apart from you. We're made up of a stakeholder group. We recognize all stakeholders as being members, and we want to work with you and make Medicine Hat even stronger in regard to its event organizations. So what's our mission? To collaborate and partner with sport and event organizations in encouraging development and event hosting. It's very basic. So hopefully we'll provide you some information on how you may be able to access some of the services that we can provide. and learn more about what we can do with you and for you. I'll turn it over to Kelly, and Kelly can talk a bit more about what is sport event tourism. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. This is a wonderful, I'm very blessed to be part of an organization like this. I've been in the event world for about 14 years, and it's an absolutely crazy and exciting world to be in. And I can understand from somebody who doesn't do events, it's very daunting. So that's why we're here. We're here to help you and support you and help develop your organizations. Specifically, what I'm going to talk about tonight is what is sports and event tourism. It's defined as visitors that travel more than 80 kilometers and stay overnight, and that their primary reason for travel is to attend a sport or an event. Pretty simple. Whether we participate in an event as a player, as a parent, or a fan, or maybe we're a business owner or an employee that sees a spike in our sales or our numbers when an event is in town. Directly or indirectly, small or large, as a community, we can all benefit so much from event and sport tourism. It's a fast-growing sector of the global travel industry and equates to $6.8 billion in annual spending. That is a massive, massive event. In Medicine Hat, we need a piece of that. Some of those impacts of hosting a sport or event in our community are so great. Between all of the sporting, cultural, and community groups, when we together as a community in Medicine Hat host 220 annual events, that impact is $13 million plus in Medicine Hat alone. That's a pretty big number for our community, and that only means great things for our community and the people living in it. As a community, we can all celebrate. Hosting events encourages the community to come together. It promotes inclusion and gives our residents a chance to brag about our beautiful city. There are so many benefits from a social, from volunteer base. I mean, it's just a great way to network with people in town, but it also drives our economy. You, as your group and your organization, small or large, like I said, you drive our economy. And we need you, and we want to help you and support you in any way we can. So speaking about bragging about our beautiful city, I'm going to turn it over to Jace Anderson, who is the greatest champion and supporter of Medicine Hat.
Jace, can I preempt you for 1 minute? I was remiss, and it's probably a good time to recognize and invite Ken Sauer on behalf of the Games Society. And it's a good fit in terms of this as well. Certainly the Games Society was a major player in negotiating and partnering with Tourism Medicine Hat. And I think we all know Ken's commitment to volunteerism in this community. And we invited Ken to talk a bit about the Games Society this evening and its role in this regard. So, Ken Sauer.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a real pleasure to be with you, and thank you very much for showing up. This is a situation where we share together some of the ideas and push forward to make this our community of choice for destination efficient games and other things. But every time I come up to speak, and I'm asked to speak, I just involuntarily have to tell you this little story. This gentleman and his wife had been to the theater, and after the theater, they were just coming out, and they said, let's stop for a nightcap. And so we got to this bar, and the place was loaded, except there were 2 seats right at the bar itself. And they sat down and ordered their drinks. And while they waited, the fellow sitting next to them must have been there for hours, because he let out a terribly loud belch. The gentleman turned him in to sit to him. What do you mean? Housing before my wife. And the caller heard, I didn't even know it was her turn. Okay, sorry, kidding. I'm not before where everyone went through little stickers. That's good. I'll just go back a little bit, just to tell you the history where we started here. 1992, we had the Alberta Senior Games, and we established the Medicine Hat Senior Society. And then as we rolled into 1998 for the Canadian, it was another sort of bigger event, and we had some of the same people, and it turned out to be a real strong operation. Well, then we said, as we sat back, we don't want to stop at the seniors. Surely we want to do something for the young people and middle-sized people and other people like that. Not middle-sized, middle-aged people. Boy, this is getting this way it hasn't made. So we said, let's just take away that Senior Citizen Society, dissolve them, and establish the Medicine Hat Alberta Games Society, which could take elderly, middle-aged, and the youth. And that became a target then for us to use to bid on various things. And we started that out. And of course, the big thing is 2002 was our first games, the 2008 Alberta Winter Games. And what we found out, when we incorporated back in the 90s and carried through, the incorporation was very, very important. So if you have not incorporated your group, your association, I would suggest that you think of it very seriously. And if you want to talk to us after, we can do that. But the incorporation allows you several entries into fundraising. And one of them is provincial casinos. Now, when you incorporate, government services is where you incorporate, but you can't ask for a local casino or even a provincial casino unless you are incorporated and unless you've been in operation for 2 years with a financial statement. So that's important. Because when we had the 2002, organized the 2000 Alberta Winter Games, we were able to get 3 different provincial casinos. And I say this not lightly because there is tax money that's turned over to the Alberta Sports Park Wildlife Foundation, and now it's changed to the Alberta, the Sports Connection. They will give you money to run your event if it fits on the characteristics. So having 3 of them at $100,000 for 2 nights, that is a tremendous help because every one of us goes to the business community in the city of Medicine Hat. And I know they've been very, very, very supportive. But it does help when you have those particular casinos at a provincial level. In 2000, around 2004, in that area, the provincial casinos turned up instead of being 100, when no smoking came into the casino, moved on into about 80,000. Now they're running about 75,000. So you can net about 70,000. In 2008, they held the Alberta Summer Games here in town, and again we were able to gather 3 casinos. And in 2016, Alberta Winter Games, we were able to do 5. Right? Let me put this clearly. This is not to brag, but I don't think anyone will ever get that kind of support. And so what happened there is that instead of scraping by, we were able to have a $500,000 legacy because they cover the main expenses. And when you cover food, by the way, that's the most expensive one. We do that, and a couple of other events or items are expensive too. That meant that the services in kind and gifts in kind that the local business community were able to offer us, plus those provincial casinos, left that $500,000 legacy, and that's where we set aside $50,000, as Ron mentioned, and we were able to help 22 different organizations in town with legacy grants of $15,000, $20,000, and something like that. So we gave back a tremendous amount too, and tried to help. And some of you may have been the recipients of that, and we were pleased to work with you. That's the kind of cooperation you need if you're going to set up an organization like a society. Now, we went through all of this, and here we are. Last year, by the way, was it last year, Brian, or 2 years ago? My time was quickly making time. Anyway, what happened here is that Brian Varga went up to Grand Prairie to represent the city, and there they announced that we were going to have a Special Olympics. Now, in the city of Medicine Hat, that was a surprise because not many people have worked with special athletes. And it turned out to be the most successful one along the way. My point is this: the National Special Olympics heard about how efficient and effective we were, and we almost actually went in our chair, and how we organized the thing, and it was very successful. They said, look, you guys better bid for the National. And that's the kind of reputation you want to do. When you think of Ring F, for example, the largest tournament ever anywhere, with 2 weekends and stuff like that, that's the kind of reputation you want. And that's why the members of our game society, the umbrella group, so let me brag again, because now we did the provincial Special Olympics. We're going to be looking at the national. This last year, in the springtime, we get this call. There's this group in Alberta that is going to want somebody to host the 55 plus. So this is the middle-aged people, you know, by the way. They used to be 65 and involved, now they're sneaking down to the adolescents at 55. So they said, listen, we had a community who was going to host these 55 plus games in 2019. However, they had to drop off because of circumstances beyond their control. Can you do it? Is that how do you think it was? Well, we went to Alberta Sport Connection and they said, if you want to have somebody pick this thing up quickly and get organized, call Medicine Hat. So Theodore, our mayor, call him Theodore. So I said to the mayor, we've got this opportunity to do this here. What do you think? He says, can you handle it? We said, yes. So now we're going to host that. But the Medicine Hat Alberta Game Society is going to be the umbrella, and underneath it we're going to have the Alberta 55 Plus committee that's running it. So that cooperation means a heck of a lot. And that's why the Alberta Game Society, working with now moving over to this new event council, is trying to work with you to make it successful. Because I tell you what, the volunteers around this town, we have sometimes organizations say we need volunteers. 2008, we had 3,200 volunteers. 2016, 2,800. So people in this town want to help. They want to brag about the city. And we get all kinds of emails and telephone calls and even conversations where they said, that's the darndest, warmest place in the world. Number one, when we have kids down there, we feel so good because we know that you're going to look after them as well as we do. But every time we have an event in this city, it's worth a $200,000 glossy back up in our magazine. Because you make an impact, and the economic impact that Troy talked about is really reinforced by the fact that people will remember what Medicine Hat's all about. And there are many, by the way, what we have down here. So that's where Jason, all the other guys, and tourism and everything else, we all work together. We'll make this a destination place. Lethbridge, Red Deer, Saskatoon, Kamloops, Prince George, they've been driving this ahead of us, and we're going to beat them and beat them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken. I think Ken talks about the partnership, and one of the really strong backgrounds to our development as a sport and event council is our relationship with the DMO and Tourism Medicine Hat and Jason, the board. So I'll let Jason talk about the partnership.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. One of the benefits of speaking and taking the microphone after Ken is that I have the opportunity to say, ditto. Everything he said, I could not have said differently or better. And so other than a few words on the screen, which I will walk you through, that's all been said already. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Medicine Hat Destination Market Organization Society, a number of which are seated next to me also in the room here, thank you for joining us tonight. This is very exciting and it's a labor of a significant amount of time and effort from a number of people, including all of you. Give you a little bit of background and context as to who we are, just so that it fits that frame of reference. The Medicine Hat DMO, as we often refer to ourselves as, we carry the brand on behalf of the City Tourism Medicine Hat. We represent tourism medicine hat for the city. We are an industry-led not-for-profit society that exists to strengthen Medicine Hat's destination awareness through tourism services. So we're here focused on tourism, whether that be leisure or business travel or sport. Our vision, where we see ourselves moving forward to going forward, is to be that trusted partner in promoting Medicine Hat and our tourism experience. And that includes the champions, each and every one of you, and the people that live around us, participate with each and every one of us in the community. We have a series of goals identified. I'm not going to read them verbatim. What I'm going to do is I've underlined random words. And I'm just going to read some of the words. And I'll allow you to look over to my left, your right, and read them in their entirety. We have, as a board, as a society, a number of goals or strategy elements that seem to dovetail remarkably well with the efforts that are being undertaken by the council themselves. A communication strategy has already been referenced to enhance Medicine Hat tourism profile. And the Sport Event Council's priorities to attract events to Medicine Hat, recognizing that we have an opportunity and a continued effort to be nationally recognized as a host community. Number two, the DMO promotes Medicine Hat as a year-round destination for visitors and residents. Again, that goes back to recognizing that as residents, you and I are, in fact, the champions for our community, we call them. And we have a remarkable amount of leverage or influence when we're communicating both with fellow residents as well as family and friends and colleagues from elsewhere, whether that's still the province or throughout the country. So the Medicine Hat Sport Event Council is looking to work with organizations, each and every one of you, to bring additional events to Medicine Hat on a year-round basis. And number three, it can from time to time seem a little bit like a catchphrase or a keyword, but that identification of working collaboratively, working hand in hand with arm in arm, recognizing that none of us, ourselves included, are willing to achieve much at all if we try to do it all ourselves or do it in isolation. And the Sport Event Council's identified main purpose, there's a lot of words right there, but it's to work with the local community. Look at this tonight. They're looking to work with each and every one of you. This is, this partnership, this opportunity for all of us is absolutely win-win, is it not? That's what we believe it is. And some of you might not yet have arrived at the point where you might see it in the same way that I do. And there's going to be a coffee and a cookie opportunity after. When drinking coffee, you can have all the cookies. But pull me aside, I'd love to tell you a little bit about why I'm excited to take the opportunity to stand here with all of you and talk about this. And it's not just because, as a win-win endeavor, Stephen Covey would be proud. That bombed even more than you, sir, and I did for you.
So, Jason was going to stay up here and talk about the City of Medicine Hat partnership relationship, but I guess I get that opportunity. So we've certainly had good support from the city, and both from a staff perspective and a council perspective. If you remember back, it was over a year ago, we approached council. We indicated that we had formed a partnership with the DMO, with Tourism Medicine Hat, and we wanted to move forward. We explained our terms of reference, our mandate, and the partnership, and council endorsed it in principle. And that's all we'd asked for at that point in time. As we've continued, we've certainly tried to make council aware of our initiative as well as administration. And I should mention, the City of Medicine Hat has been extremely supportive when we've gone forward with requests for support grants for major events, whether, as Ken mentioned, it's games or other initiatives. They've certainly been more than supportive. So we certainly are approaching them at this point and discussing the opportunity to assist in funding the Sport and Event Council. We've certainly indicated to them throughout our presentations that we see it important that the City of Medicine Hat be a partner. And certainly our intent is not only to talk to the City of Medicine Hat, but other potential funders as well to support the organization. And we'll talk more about what that funding might go to as we describe what our activities are. We're going to talk more about some of the activities that in relationship to with the city, like demonstration days and hopefully some other initiatives in the future as well. But just to rest assured, Council has been very supportive, and our hope is certainly we'll see that support through some funding for the next 4 years as well. James, what did I miss?
You didn't miss anything at all. Nothing was missed. I will simply add one of the things that I am incredibly proud to have been participating in with the DMO itself was the recognition early on that as a group we would approach our stakeholders, that we would represent the industry as best we might be able to in a way that provided value first, as opposed to asking for money, asking for contributions, asking for support or membership. We had secured initial funding from the city, and we presented ourselves in a way that would provide value for our stakeholders. And it was in that refining process as we've gotten a little bit better at providing that value, as our team who we work with have increased and the capacity has grown, we've been able to do that. I think that that is replicating itself to some small degree here right now, which is most exciting. Like Ron said, when we were before the D&I committee and before council and others prior, we weren't there saying, this is the vision, now pay for it. This is the vision, now here's the money we need. Instead, what we did is we illustrated a recognition of the industry, of our stakeholder desire to see an opportunity to make improvements, and we wanted to have a hand in that. And as we get a sense of what that hand is and understand what capacities we might be able to bring to the table, and you might be able to bring to the table, we start to identify some need for money. And that's really where we end up and where we're moving now, which is very exciting, and it speaks back to this whole collaboration. So this partnership is really going to handle for days. Stephen comes and thank you personally. It's been a win. Thank you, Deuce.
Okay, maybe we'll get into more details now in terms of what the Sport and Event Council and specifically the working committees can assist and work with you on, and what their mandate and role involves. So first off, I'm pleased to welcome and introduce Tammy Sweeney. Tammy, of course, is known in her day-to-day world at the Canalta Center, and certainly has been a welcome addition to the community. So, Tammy Sweeney.
So as a new resident of Medicine Hat, or fairly new, one of the first things that stood out to me was just how supportive the community was. So jumping into the Bid and Event Committee and the work that they're doing to bring major events to the city was a pleasure to be a part of, and very proud to be working with the group of people that we are. And very pleased to see so many diverse groups here represented tonight, everything from culture and sports and entertainment, and just a wide variety of events. So very thrilled to be able to share with you some of the things that we can do to help you in your efforts to bring events to the city. So I'm the chair of the Bid and Events Committee. We have a working group, and we're a strong working group that's really designed to help you with resources. So when you're putting a bid together, it's daunting, it's a big task. Sometimes you don't know how the event's going to turn out, you don't know what's involved, and so we're here to help with resources. Make sure it's up on the screen. So really we are here to support you in your bid process with resources, with information, with help, with understanding and awareness. We are really here to assist with both financial opportunities as well, and as an advocacy to different levels of government to make sure that there's support at multiple levels, both in the city and beyond, and sharing opportunities with you so that you know what opportunities are out there and you know what you can then apply for, or maybe what other groups are applying for as well. So there'll be that sense of sharing the information. We've talked a lot tonight about collaboration. doesn't matter what your organization is, whether it's sports or entertainment or culture, you're all in it to build the City of Medicine Hat. And if somebody else has gone through a similar experience in the past, if we can match you up with them, then great. We can help you develop your bid application process to the betterment of the community as well. So that's what this working group is really designed to do, is to put those tools and resources together to share with you so that you can have an easier time putting that bid process together. All right, and I didn't read it word for word. I figured you could read it there as well. Next slide, Kara, is about the bid grants. So there's money for you, right? When you are putting together that bid, it is time-consuming, it's costly. Sometimes you have to pay for resources like a financial person or an accountant or a marketing person to put some of the graphics together, and that costs money. And sometimes as a not-for-profit organization, you may or may not have access to those funds or the time to help. So through this committee, we will be able to offer you funds and dollars for nonprofit organizations to be able to develop your application or your bid. They are available, the funds are available through to non-for-profits, and it will be through an application process. So our goal will be to launch that whole application package to you early in the new year, and then you'll have that information to be able to understand how to go about getting that money. The grant is repayable if you are awarded the bid. If you're not awarded the bid, you don't have to repay it. So it's yours to help you with that bid process. And if you are fortunate enough, as we have for some of our past events, to have a legacy or to have a profit at the end, then some of that money at the end, 10% up to a maximum of $25,000, goes back into the committee as a legacy to be able to share that wealth with other organizations looking to bid to future events as well. So the money is there for you, the help is there for you, the resources are there for you, and we are with you throughout that bid and application process. So we'll happily answer questions for you after doing Q&A, as well as after that for coffee and desserts after the event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tammy. Maybe if I could just mention one other thing that I think really supports what Tammy's saying. And one of the things that the bid and event committee is actually working on is templates to assist you and guide you in terms of your perhaps financial assessment of whether you have the capability to generate the necessary funds to meet the requirements for funding the event, or templates perhaps for volunteers, and how to coordinate the volunteers and how to train them. So looking at methodologies that assist you on the day-to-day kind of basis as well. So next I will welcome Alicia Hammond from the Stay in Medicine Hat, or Medicine Hat Accommodation Association, as I perhaps wrongly call it all the time. So Alicia and the Accommodation Association are certainly very supportive of the initiative, and Alicia chairs our promotions and marketing committee.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to run through these bullet points, give you a bit more description on what the promotion and marketing committee is going to be able to help you with. So our first bullet of promoting Medicine Hat is a host community. What that's going to look like is, as a committee, whether it is as an entire group or individuals, we're going to try and attend as many events as we can to be able to start making some of those connections. So whether it's a large national event like the Canadian Sports Congress, or provincial events, to try and connect us with those events rights holders, so we can start telling that Medicine Hat story and promoting all the benefits that come from choosing our city for their event. We're going to, similar to the bid committee, have some templates and plans put together that you can use. They're going to be internal resources that will be available on the website for you, the stakeholders. Some examples will be like marketing strategies, press release templates, updated local media contact lists, that type of thing. We are going to have the website as well as the social media accounts. So the social media account is at MHSportAndEvent, and it's going to be on Facebook and Twitter. We're going to use it to help promote events that are here, make announcements when bids are achieved, be able to share posts from visitors when they're thrilled to see our awesome facilities. The website is going to be embedded right now into Tourism Medicine Hat's website, and it's going to highlight a lot of the information that you're learning about tonight about the goals and focus of the Sport and Event Council, as well as have all of those templates and plans and things that you can access to a Dropbox folder. We are, as an entire committee, I would say both the subcommittees as well as the board, are really, really keen in helping everybody connect with each other as well. So it's connecting those dots that we think is going to help make all of our local associations stronger. So, for example, if the Disc Golf Club is thinking or considering of hosting an event, but they haven't before and aren't really sure what all those logistics look like, then this committee is going to be able to say, okay, well, we can introduce you to someone that's hosted something similar, and then you can have a chat about some best practices, that type of thing. Researching, trending, marketing things. Of course, the promotions and marketing committee is going to be all over this. Everybody on the committee are experts in their field when it comes to promotions and marketing. We have various committee members, whether it's from a not-for-profit organization like myself, there is some private marketing businesses that are involved, but everybody is very knowledgeable both on upcoming marketing trends and or things that work best for event planning. And it's because that's what we do in our day jobs, and part of our role of being on this subcommittee is to share that information with you for free. The next couple of slides we have here just show you what our website and social media accounts look like. There are already some resources that have been uploaded to the website. If you go on, you see something or don't see something that you would like, just send us an email. A lot of what we're going to create is going to be demand-based. So we're not going to spend time creating marketing plan information if what you're really interested in is just getting a constant update on local media contacts, that type of thing. And then the social media account, please follow us. We will love to follow you back. And definitely let us know if there's something in particular that you have coming up that you want promoted. Your registration has just opened. You are just going to start a new event and want to get the word out. This account is going to be followed by Tours of Medicine Hat, by groups like mine, by all the people that are associated. So we're all going to help and try and spread that word for you. I think that's all for us. Thank you, and for sure if you have any questions, come talk with us after the coffee.
Thank you, Alicia. From a council perspective, one of the unique initiatives that we would like to undertake, and certainly in conjunction with our two committees, especially from a promotions and marketing standpoint, is really being proactive in going after major events. Rather than waiting for an announcement from a national organization saying you can bid on a major golf event or any kind of event. Really going after some events. We've had some success in the past. Level and baseball certainly has in terms of having an event over multiple years. But you really need to promote and market yourself in that regard rather than just waiting for announcements. So really trying to look at some different ways of increasing the opportunities for Medicine Hat to be a host for multiple years. So stay tuned with that one. So I'll turn it over to Kara now, who will talk about economic impact studies. And as I mentioned, Kara is our event and sport coordinator and has been with us now right from the start. And many of you will know Kara from her past involvement with the Winter Games and other games and summer games, etc. in town. So she's just been a tremendous resource to us, and great to have her on board. Kara Burke?
Thank you. I'm short. So I get to talk to you guys about one of the really exciting resources that we have available for organizations, and that's the economic impact studies. So we've heard earlier that the economic impact of hosting events, whether it's a large event or a small event, is significant to this community. We know that there's over 225 events that happen in this community annually, whether that's concert, tournaments, things like that. And so, and Kelly mentioned it earlier, that that's over $13 million for this community. So we know that. And we know that funding their events can be hard, getting sponsors. So we have some opportunities in some organizations that we're working with. We have become a member of the Canadian Sport Tourism Alliance, and they offer an economic impact studies called the STEAM 2.0. What it is you can see it on the slide there. They have two different economic impact studies. They've got one that's predictive. So you can actually take this information, put in your guesstimates, what you think the event is going to do in regards to spectators, participants, put it into this formula, car through us. And it's going to spit out a number for you, estimating the amount that event will generate for you. This is great before you have the event, whether you're determining if you want to bid on it, that makes financial sense. And then also before you actually have the event come, looking for sponsors and approaching these sponsors and saying, hey, I know that I'm asking for some money, but look at how much money it's going to bring to your specific industry. So this is huge. There's also a couple options, one through the Alberta Cultural and Tourism industry, that they have an economic impact as well. And so after your event, post-event, there are 2 different actually resources that we can use to create a economic impact study. So if you want, through Canadian Sport Tourism, you can have actually individuals of them come down, be in person, surveying your spectators, parents, even the participants, volunteers, about how much money they're spending during these events and get a very accurate number. Or you can use this study again and have an estimate of what happened during the event. So this is absolutely great. But I'm going to welcome Tara Patricia to the stage. And so Tara is with the City of Medicine Hat. And we're really excited about this. MedHat Active used to be an organization in town that has recently dissolved, and as many of you know. And so the City of Medicine Hat has kind of taken this over and created demo days. And so the Sport and Event Council is excited to explore opportunities to partner with the City of Medicine Hat in growing this event and making it great for you guys as our stakeholders. So, welcome, Tara.
Okay, I'm a little bit taller than Kenna. I was questioning. So my name is Tara Patrician, and I am the Recreation Program Coordinator with the City of Medicine Hat. I'm with the Parks and Recreation Department. And I really want to take this opportunity right now to commend each and every one of you for coming out tonight. What a great turnout, and it's really nice to see our sport family all coming together, making a concerted effort to work together and move forward together. So thank you all for being here. So I'm stationed up at the Leisure Centre, and over the last couple of years, since the expansion, we have hosted an event called Demo Days. So this hopefully should be near and dear to sports organizations' hearts, because we know you all need registration and you all need memberships in order to run your organizations. So with the establishment of the Family Leisure Centre, we had this huge multi-sport recreational facility where we could actually host demonstrations of a variety of different sports. And so thus Demo Days was born. And so it was established in 2017, and of course the City of Medicine Hat has a vested interest in making sure that the organizations that conduct their business within our city facilities are successful. And so they were contacted by invitation in order to participate in the very first Demo Days. So we started small, we focused on those groups. You can see some of the pictures there. Some of you might be in those pictures. I think Cheryl is. And so we started out just by invitation, and it was an event where you could either demonstrate, or you can invite people to participate and try your actual event. And you can have information and registration booths, and many did a combination of all. The very first year, we had 16 participating organizations. And much to our surprise, because we just thought this was going to be a little family leisure center thing, in 2018, people really started to look for this event, and they contacted us early to see how they could be involved and how they could get a booth. So we decided to initiate a 2-tiered registration system where we still wanted to give the advantage to the user groups that operate within city facilities. And so we just had an earlier deadline for them. And then we opened it up to other recreation-based organizations or leisure-based organizations. So we, in our second year, had 21 participating organizations. That was just this past August. And that brings us to today. So you can see we have a short little history. But at both events, we gathered feedback and for both the exhibitors and patrons. And what we found was that there's definitely an interest in having 2 different events in a year instead of 1 to take advantage of those organizations that run a summer season and then that runs on the regular school season. And secondly, we found that we've outgrown our current location. Originally, the vision of the demo days was to take advantage of the foot traffic we were getting at the leisure center, whether it was just families coming to do their skating or swimming, or if they were coming to head all the way through to go to the soccer. And so we set up in this line of the Family Leisure Center, which now we're finding that with 21 organizations and potentially growing, we need a bigger space. And so we're looking at making the event a standalone event that you have to come to and get farther into the building in order to come across it. And then finally, as Kara mentioned, we have some previously established registration events that are no longer occurring, including the mall-wide registration and MedHat Active. And so, if not that, then what? And so that's what we're here to potentially explore with the Sport and Event Council. So, my question is, how can we grow with you? So we didn't start with the intention to become the registration days in Medicine Hat. We just wanted to expose everyone to this beautiful new facility that we had up at the Family Leisure Center and give people an opportunity to experience the spaces with the organizations that run them there. But we are definitely willing to look at some options and based on what is required in our community. And so that's why I'm here today, to give you a little bit of history of that and to get your thoughts on how we can move forward from here. So there are a couple of questions on the survey that you were given at the very beginning, and I look forward to seeing that feedback.
So another thing that we heard in the initial community meetings that we held with a lot of the stakeholders was that you currently have multiple sites that you need to post to if you have an event. So we know that there are multiple community calendars and that some organizations are posting one and not the other. And we were finding that we were having multiple events on one weekend, which led to no hotel rooms. So we had some participants, spectators need to stay in Tabor, Brooks, outside of town. And so that was something that we really wanted to focus on moving forward, collaborating together, to not have 4 or 5 events on the same weekend, but rather spread those out through the month. And we know that that's easier said than done sometimes with some of the events that have to happen on specific weekends. But we definitely think there's an opportunity to collaborate and hopefully find a solution to that. So we are in the process of creating a community calendar, hoping that it will look something similar to this, easy to read, but with the target audience being the stakeholders, you guys. So this is not a calendar that we are going to be posting every Esplanade event on, every Canalda show on. This is going to be a calendar that's for you guys, so that you can look years in advance, months in advance, to say, hey, I want to host an event on July 22nd, for example. Oh, soccer is hosting an event on that weekend, and so is Little League. Maybe I'm going to wait and do it the next weekend, something like that, so that we can work together. And obviously, like I said earlier, affects hotels. This, like I said, is still in the process. There was a lot of requirements that we want this calendar to have. So that is being able to link specifically to your websites. So if there is an event there and they click on it, it goes to your website, you get more information there. We also wanted it to, or we want it to be able to be embedded on other websites. So this will be the one calendar that you post to. It will go to the Medicine Hat Accommodation website, potentially the City of Medicine Hat's website, radio stations, stuff like that, so that you are posting to one website, is immediately distributed on multiple websites, and you avoid having to post on different websites. So we can get into more if you have more questions again, question and answer or afterwards, but this is something that we're very excited about having. So I'll take you through quickly what we've gone over tonight. We're excited that the Medicine Hat Sport and Event Council is here. This has been in the works for 10, 15 years now. So we're excited that it's finally here. We're excited that with the council that we have, the committee that we have, and that we've had such great support from our stakeholders already. We do have 2 working committees, as Tammy and Alicia were after. We've got the bid and event committee and the promotions and marketing committee. I'm not going to read these, but they are both committees are here to work with you guys in what you need. So if you're building a bid document, we know that sometimes that can be a 2-page document, sometimes it can be a 50, 60-page document, depending on how much and the event that you're bidding on. And so we can get into a little bit more of that as well. But then also the promotions, so promoting the events in Medicine Hat. We know we have fantastic facilities, fantastic volunteers, and we want to be able to promote that even farther. And then some of our other services, the economic impact studies, the demo days with the City of Medicine Hat, and our community calendar. This is also constantly growing. So it is our plan to have this meeting once a year to get feedback from you guys, to report on what has happened over the past year, what we're looking forward to in the future, and other services that we can offer in the upcoming future. And so how do you utilize the Medicine Sport Unit Council? I'm going to say this often, as you can see it's twice in this slide, but please keep in contact with us. So we want to make sure that our database of names, phone numbers, email addresses is up to date. I've already had, when we sent out the invitation, a couple emails bounce back. So we want to make sure that we have the correct information so that we can keep in contact with you guys. We're also going to send out potential bid opportunities to you, bid posting opportunities. So if we, for example, if we get notification that you can bid on a water polo event, we are going to contact that water polo association and say, hey, this event is coming. Is this something you're interested in? How can we help you with this? So anything that we hear, we will pass on. I'm sure you guys have heard it as well, but just in case you haven't, it's always good to know. And then please contact us if you are considering bidding on an event. We've got 20 experts between our councils and our working committees, and so we're excited to help in many different ways, whether that's press releases, marketing, putting the bid together, how to book hotels, how to book transportation. There's so much that can go into it. And so please come to us and let us help you through that process. Please apply for the bid development grants. We're excited that we have this money. We're excited that we can help you guys as organizations. And like Tammy alluded to, we know that it can be expensive to put these bids together. And we know how frustrating it can be if you don't get that bid. And so that's one of the reasons we decided that there is no cost to you if you are not on board with an event. We are taking that cost on ourselves. And so please apply for those grants. And then definitely completing your economic impact studies. So make sure you use those. Show the community how much your organization is worth to this community in hosting an event. We've done some studies. We know that the Ed Warhead brings in almost $1 million in economic impact study just for Medicine Hat. That's huge. And so we're excited to do those studies with you as well. Attend demo days. We're excited about that event and what it can be and how it can grow, and getting kids that are young, that are even toddlers right now, excited into being active in different organizations, whether that's sports, cultural, community events. And then again, please use that community calendar. We're really excited about it, but it's only going to work if you guys utilize it as well. So if you're not utilizing it, then other organizations, there could still be that conflict of weekends. And again, keep in contact. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Gareth.
Go ahead.
Anyway, just a couple quick points. If there's anyone here, any organization or association who is not familiar with incorporating and or applying for a casino license, it's rather interesting, by the way. I belong to the Kiwanis Club, one and I do, and that our number is 61958. The other day, I got a notice of 727, 142 organizations in this province who are looking for casino licenses. But if you wasn't helping that, we've done that. The other thing is a bid document. In the city, there's a certain amount of structure. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And Tammy will tell you that in our committee, so the structures are there. We'll help you. You don't have to So it'll save you a lot of work.
So let me summarize, and then we'll have a question and answer period, and then we can move next door and have more individual conversations. So the stakeholder group over the 2-year period, and 1 year in particular, gave us a direction. We believe as a sport and event council, we heard that direction. We believe, and we're pleased to recognize that we think we've achieved what you started with and what you told us you wanted and what you mandated us to move forward with. So we found a partner, a strong partner. We have a great relationship. We kept the basic tenets that you identified and tried to ensure that we heard you, and we are an event council and we're there to support you. You told us, don't create more committees. We're already really busy on the day-to-day for our organizations. Work with us and support us. That's what we've tried to do. I would certainly like to, as a member of the council, certainly like to thank the people that stepped forward, both for the council and the committees. They're volunteers, like you, and they have knowledge that they would like to share with you and assist you as you look at initiatives. We're there to support you. And if you leave with nothing else today, just leave with that. We represent you. We're there to assist you with events and initiatives of that nature. And finally, again, as everybody said, the response has been overwhelming. Thank you for coming out. We hopefully will be able to touch base with each of you over the next year or 2 or 3 as you look at initiatives. And we want to support you, and we're here for you. With that, I'll open it up to questions and answers for a few minutes, and I'll try to moderate those a little bit, and if there's some things we need to redirect, or there's committee or board members or others that may be able to respond, we'll certainly encourage that. So expect it to be a little bit more free-flowing, and then we'll move next door for cookies and coffee and one-to-one conversation. So any questions? And I'm going to get over the curriculum. You can hear me. I'll use my outside voice. Any questions? Well, that one's good.
On the not-for-profit side, moving from private to not-for-profit, Ken touched on that.
Can you stand up? I'm sorry, everybody can hear you too. Thank you.
Okay. Ken touched on the moving from private to not-for-profit, and you mentioned the Kiwanis Club. Did I mishear something there, or how do we go about getting assistance from you guys?
So the relationship between private and not-for-profit, specifically around grants and
Well, moving from the private to a not-for-profit club.
the application for not-for-profit society status.
When I'm talking about a not-for-profit, all not-for-profit, service provider not-for-profit, and any other organization that wants to do the same thing.
So where would I find the support to? I've got some parents that are interested. None of us know how to start.
I'll tell you,
Okay.
Cookies solve everything.
And we've gone through that application. We've got the Resurrect the Society, so gone through that process, as many have here as well. So certainly valid question, and we can support you through that. Other general questions?
Just in terms of events, I heard about it with the community types of events. Just interested to know with professional events and basically professional events are discussed.
Do you have an example in mind?
Like curling or that wants to happen.
I'm sorry? So the question was around our support for professional events. Curling's an interesting one. We certainly have encouraged, and Vicky's here somewhere, but we certainly encouraged in working with the society of bringing those kind of events to the community, even on a professional basis. Now, there's probably some limitations within that, so I think we'll have to look at each one within its own merits. But certainly the Curling Society operates, and we've certainly supported in the past, and hopefully we'll be looking at working with the Curling Society on some more initiatives in that regard.
And I guess we're looking at this international thing. Yeah, but it's just curious if you're.
And our main, can you hear me? And our main focus has certainly been in terms of amateur initiatives. However, nothing prevents us from having a look at more professional
By the way,
components of that nature.
some of the circumstances are very much the same. And when you get into that webpage, the Herald's webpage, it does divide up the picture on them. They're very careful to divide the two.
Yeah, there's a number of limitations, of course, in your society status that prevents some of those initiatives in that regard as well. So our experience is far more of the amateur nature, so it's all for us to look at. Others, I'll give you the mic.
I'm gonna run it out for you.
Well, you can be the runner. Yeah, you're the block one. Thank you. Thanks, Gary.
Hey, I'm just wondering when the slower season is. You mentioned
Go ahead, you can answer that.
Then the slower season.
yes, you mentioned that in your thing, but you never mentioned the actual time frame with it.
Yeah, so we know that the major event or larger events, you have kind of the summer season and then you have the winter season. So the shoulder events usually end up being that spring, fall, kind of August, September, March, April. And so that's what we're looking to work with organizations that can have some flexibility in their time periods. And I think, Alicia, you're probably the better one to talk about that. April, May, August, September.
And of course, weekends are far busier, especially with the amateur and youth age groups. So if we can promote events during the week at certain times, but not holiday weeks, etc. Depends on the event. You and I will chat after. I'll give you an example.
So as a former school person, I have to tell you, I'm excited about prospects of something happening every weekend. In schools, it happens every weekend. Are they taken into account when you're planning your calendar?
Yeah, I can answer that, definitely. So we're working with all schools that host those events, so that would be your junior highs and high schools in both school divisions, including Prairie Roads as well. So Eagle View, yeah, definitely we consider they're involved in those concerts as well, because we do know that there was last year 3 events that happened on one weekend, including basketball provincials, which was obviously.
There's also, Les, there's also examples of, we talked a little bit about this on a very preliminary basis, and certainly not promising anything at all, but there are examples where there have been Western competitions among high schools, etc., not just provincial. There's been Western Canada or even national where they could get sponsors. So, you know, the opportunities are you have to be fairly creative, and some certainly may not work. But we want to look outside the box a little bit in terms of some new initiatives too. So,
Growing up in Saskatchewan, the Luther Invitational Tournament attracted basketball high school teams from across Canada. It was lovely to do that here.
and the Western Canadian kind of success you get in everything from bring up to whatever, and else. Other questions before we move next door?
To follow up with the mention of Eagle Views, I was wondering if
Steve Good was going to listen to you.
is your support restricted to just City Medicine Hat events? Does it include Urban, Redcliffe, Cypress County places?
So, from a sport council, or from a sport and event council, we've identified it as Medicine Hat Sport and Event Council, but we've also made it clear we would not exclude groups external to Medicine Hat. Certainly, the city of Medicine Hat would have to determine if they would support it from a financial standpoint or anything else, as would Cypress County or whatever. But from a sport and event council perspective, we said we would look at it on a one-off basis. So if you have something that you want to look at from the Eagle View area, we're not excluding that. Our primary focus is Medicine Hat, but we certainly consider outside of it.
And Ron, I think when we have the games, Elkwater is
Correct.
can the county. So it's, so that district actually we're self this part of that.
So we're not excluded.
Red Cliff also.
I'm just asking for your emotions. Do you see that you're going to push when people actually are having the event to promote our community and come and partake in them? Do you see it going to that level, or is it just part of the promotion just to get the event here? Or do you see it carrying on a little bit, or some avenues where we can use it to conduct interest in the community to come and check it out?
I can speak on. I think it'll be both. So it'll be both getting participants to come, and especially when they're larger events where people are interested in coming. Western Canadians, anything national that perhaps they're planning a trip to town for another reason, we can maybe get them to come here during that event to be able to attend that event. Definitely, I think there's a high interest for people to travel that are interested in sporting and cultural events that are happening.
A lot of times we hear, oh, I didn't know that was in town after the fact. I think it's
Right.
great.
Right, to be proactive and be in front of it, so that's why that calendar is going to be immensely useful, as well as like being able to notify Kara who's behind the social media channels right away when you have something that you do want to push out, whether it's from an attendees or registered perspective. The sooner we know it, the sooner we can get it into the feed and sooner we can push it out.
Natalie, I'd even take it one step further. I would hope that there are some initiatives in sports where we don't necessarily even have an organization within the community at this point. So you build interest, you support them in developing the organization, and then you move forward with new events and new activities in that regard, including new spectators and participants, etc. So my hope would be that it evolves into more things. So the more I remember during one of the games, I think it was water polo we didn't have, right? In the development, or in doing the summer games, we didn't have a sufficient number of beach volleyball courts, so further beach volleyball was developed. So I think other kinds of sporting ones was the other example. So my hope would be for those. Others?
I hear a great emphasis on bidding for events and whatnot within the sport side of things, coming from the golf side of things, with music festivals and stuff. What kind of support do you expect to see from
Exactly the same.
So one of the critical elements we started with, as we discussed with the stakeholders, is to include the word event, because we do want to be broader than just sport. And event can take in various components. Cultural is one. There may be others. I think of, I've been involved with Highland Games before. Is Highland Games pure sport or is it cultural? Well, it's a combination of the two. So our hope would be that we would certainly work with other kinds of events. Remember, our primary interest isn't in terms of being the organizing committee, it's working with others. And if there's a strong sector that wants to look at a competition of that nature in the community, certainly would look at working with you. That's the whole intent of the event. Glad you asked that actually, because lots of people go, what was the event? It can be anything. A lot of things don't fit anymore. I know Kara was at a conference and there are things that, let's cover examples. It surprised me massively.
So esports is basically people coming to watch people play video games. And it is huge. You'll actually see it as a demonstration sport in the next Olympics. And so it's something that you traditionally would think of like baseball or hockey. It's an evolving event. Yeah.
The other thing is to keep in mind that it's not just about the bid, but it's also about a hosting. So some of the templates are designed if you want to host an event, like a citywide music fest. The tools and templates will be there to help you for that as well.
I'm going to add to that as well. So we actually recently got a phone call from the Public Arts Committee. They were awarded a conference next September. So we've never held an event. We have no idea what to do. So we sat down with them. We've actually now got one. Bill Fox, who isn't here tonight, but he's on our
bidding and proposals. It was assisting organizations in their hosting initiatives. You know, one of the first things that not everybody thinks about is doing a good, our heart's there, so we want to see the event, but stepping back and having a good financial analysis, and John Knudsen always reminds me of this, but a good financial analysis in terms of determining, is it financially viable to host? And what is it going to take? And assisting you in even looking at those key elements of that. So, all right.
There's a brand new community resource that maybe organizations hosting events aren't quite aware of. And I wonder if Jace could tell us some of the things that tourism marketing or destination marketing can do to enhance events with their connections in the community with hosting and hospitality.
I finished my water. This is Mike's. I can't even drink it. Lost my voice. Les, you're too kind to give me the opportunity. For those of you who might not know, Les is one of the members of the board of Medicine Hat DMO. So he gets to see firsthand what all of us through Tourism Medicine Hat get to do. We have growing capacities with a lot of fun, but to be fair, I'm going to politely decline answering that question in any depth. I think what I want to do instead is move that to a coffee and cookie conversation. It's not just because I'm thirsty, but I think that everything that's been discussed already by the members here is critical, and I don't want to cloud that at all with something that might just be a little bit out in the parking lot on that, if that's fair.
Other things? Well,
So
You're making me work.
Yeah, really
Go,
bad.
you're right.
if you're not bidding on something and you're hosting something that regularly is held in Medicine Hat, how will the councils get involved, for example, whether it's a cultural event or one thing we've been hosting for years is Alberta Summer Games trials in Medicine Hat, and that's ongoing as long as we want to host it better, and if we don't, we can support it up. And then again, that's a sport specific event, given community associated specific sports.
So if I capture your point, so how can we, what assistance can we provide when it's an ongoing event that's
Exactly,
already
whether it's
existing?
a culture or a sporting event, that's
Whatever
going to
it
be
is.
automatic, right? Because especially Alberta Summer Games trials,
Yeah.
that one's ongoing, that happens every 2 years, right? That we've been hosting in Medicine Hat for 8 years. So,
Part of that, I think, is really up to your organization in terms of determining, are you interested in having some conversation in regard to what might work differently, the strengths, an economic impact in terms of it. So there may be other components that we can even assist with. Now, our primary focus we talk about is in terms of development. And that's probably the exciting stuff right now. But clearly, if there are events, and you know, and thinking that through, if there are events that are struggling a bit, perhaps it's an opportunity to talk to some of the individuals in regard to, you know, what are some ideas around different promotions, different marketing. Everybody hear me? Sorry. Especially back then.
I'll just add to that, Ron, too. I think using the marketing and promotions committee to use our avenues as well, and then having access to that media contact list. So yeah, the resources I think you want to grow.
So the last thing we want to occur is for strong initiatives to slowly or quickly fail as well. So if our assistance can be in propping them up or giving some new ideas or perhaps some new life to things, challenge us. The committees are volunteers that have had experience like you have, and perhaps in some sharing of ideas, there's new ways of looking at things. So I'd encourage that.
I think it's important too, by the way, Tammy is the chair of our bid committee, and the thing is we're establishing a resource guide of all the things that are available in Medicine Hat. If you want to have a handy reference in case you want to include any of that in the bid itself. That's not important because it's a
like to believe our first thought is how can we make it happen as well, not what the barriers are. We'll talk about barriers in terms of how we can address them as well. Perhaps that's a good time to, again, thank you very much. Please come next door, and the committee members and the board members will be there. If you have questions for us, we will try to figure them out with you. I don't have all the answers, but hopefully we'll have the opportunity to work together over the next year. And our hope again is to have another stakeholder meeting in about a year and to gain feedback from you in terms of what things are working well and what do we need to do next. So thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you to the committee members and the council. And thank you everybody.